any quarterback in NFL history.
Catch up, Patrick Mahomes.
Those 35 wins are more than twice as many as all other starting QBs combined this postseason. They only have 16 wins added together. Brady looking for some help from Chris Godwin to add another playoff win on Monday. He sat down with RG3 before facing the Cowboys.
What's the difference this week as opposed to week one going up against Dallas?
I think the biggest difference is that we're a lot more ready to handle the adversity that's going to come. We've dealt with all of it. We've had, fourth quarter victories where we were down by 10 plus points in the last 5 minutes. It's like, statistically, it probably shouldn't have happened. But it's like we've been through that adversity. Like we know that we'll fight to the end. Right. Understand that we put the work in and that we have our guys. Let's go out there and play. Let it loose.
Anything specifically that you see from Dallas's defense that you're willing to go ahead and drop on the national airwaves?
No, I mean, to be honest, like I think, they've done a really good job. And I think that everyone understands who the Cowboys are. I think they're a really talented team. I think their defense, they do a really good job. Like they get after the quarterback. I think offensively, they're always dangerous. Whenever you got Dak, whenever you got CD, Tony Pollard's had a phenomenal year, and you still got Zeke. It's like it's gonna be a great game. Yeah. I think that we got the game, the TV slot that we do for a reason. It's like we want to see Tom versus America's team. We got our guys, they got their guys. It's gonna be it's gonna be a beautiful night for football, and it's the playoffs. It's what all of it's about.
That's good stuff right there out of Robert and Chris, but I respectfully disagree with Chris Godwin when he says everybody understands who the Cowboys are. I have no idea right now who the Cowboys are. It depends on the week. It's just been very up and down. Rex, when you watch these Cowboys right now, in another playoff game, in a year with tons of expectation, after laying another egg last week, how much pressure is on this Cowboys team?
Well, I think there's a lot of pressure on them, Sam, and you're right, like the lack of professionalism that you see, how it's just up 1 minute, down the other one, and things. And here's a crazy stat, all right? Dak Prescott going into the season, so I'm looking at why is this team playing like this? I look at Dak Prescott, because to me, I always think Dak's one of the best quarterbacks in the league. All right, this year, though, he's thrown more interceptions than any quarterback. All right, so I'm like, why? Why is it happening? And was I wrong about him before? No. He had, in NFL history, the third lowest interception rate of any quarterback that's ever played. Third, okay? Of all time, only behind Aaron Rodgers, right, and Patrick Mahomes. So that's pretty dang good. So what is it this year? I don't know. I looked at these back-to-back plays against Washington, if we can show them up here, and I'm like, well, what is this here? So here they come. First play right here. I'm watching Dak, and he's sitting back, and I'm like, okay, he's out here. He's got to scramble. Get rid of it. What are you doing, Dak? You're one of the smartest players in the league. You can't make that throw. So now it comes back. This is the very next play, and I'm going to throw an out-breaking route into a guy playing quarters who's like, oh, this is going to be fun, and he makes a house call. Wow. So Dak, as smart as he is, and I know he's a smart player, and so what is it? I think he misses Amari Cooper. Yeah. I think he does because nobody blows the top off. I'm going to bring up Amari Cooper because nobody blows the top off of things anymore. And they're going to count on T.Y. Hilton, who's like, how old?
33.
33 years old.
I can explain it. I can explain it. First of all, the Dallas Cowboys play good football against good football teams, okay? They play to the level of their competition. That's a knock on them, okay? Yeah, Dak Prescott, everyone's going to step up on TV and be like, oh, he's got 15 interceptions, got more interceptions than he's ever had, more interceptions than anybody else. How many of you have had surgery on your thumb during an NFL season? Like, it's a real thing. It's a real freaking thing, okay? So, like, I'm not sitting here trying to make excuses for that, but, like, that's a thing, okay? Like, let's not act like it's not a thing. Last week against Washington, what I saw, okay, and I have lived this, When you're in this gray area as a player, how much am I playing today? We just talked about the Chargers. Are you playing the whole first half? Are you in the second half? You can't be 1 foot in and 1 foot out as an NFL football player, especially as a quarterback. He, to me, looked like a guy that lacked focus last week. Is he a good player? Yeah, he's a good player. Did he look like a good player against Washington? No, he looked terrible. Is he terrible? No. He looked like a dude that was like half into it. Like he's already thinking about next week. We already know that the Dallas Cowboys love to talk about teams they're playing 2 weeks from now.
Yes, they
I
are.
already know that.
Yeah.
That's a problem. You don't see that out of the really strong, mentally tough teams. You're going to hate this, but this is a fixable thing.
Oh, gosh.
Okay?
There we go.
Dak Prescott's
It's a little late.
Dak Prescott's a good quarterback, and I believe he'll have a good game Monday night against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That is a lesson that he had to learn the hard way, that I hope the Dallas Cowboys learn the hard way. You can't just show up, and because the decal on your side of your helmet's really cool and really important, and that means you're going to play well. It doesn't work that way.
Well, how many times, Matthew, are we going to wait for them to learn that lesson? Because it's not just I'd be in. I would buy what you're selling if it was a one-time deal, but we've seen it over and over.
You're 100% right. His numbers, his QBR versus playoff teams versus non-playoff teams, he plays better against the really good teams. The only thing I would say to Cowboys fans, which would you rather have? Would you rather have a quarterback that goes and plays really well against good teams, or one that plays really well against bad teams?
Are these the only options, though?
I mean, this guy, for the honestly, it's just a lack of focus. To me, it's a lack of focus. This is a team that gets more attention than any other team, and they behave that way. They need to throw the blinders on. They need to care about the things inside the white lines. Right before that ball gets snapped, it needs to be shoom, okay? He can hit an out route when he's focused on hitting the out route. I don't know what he was thinking about on that play. I mean, if your name's not Dak Prescott, you're coming out of the game.
I've been saying for the whole month of December who's going to make that push. You know, this is the week 1 of the playoffs. I think this Lombardi Trophy is up for grabs, but we're sitting here talking about the Dallas Cowboys and their quarterback going against the GOAT, Tom Brady. 7 straight games with an interception, to your point, Rex. So we just did a feature on Pollard, his family, the barbecue, all that stuff looking good. I'm interested in seeing, you talking about the pressure on Mike McCarthy. How about the pressure on Kellen Moore? You have to put a great game plan together, because if your quarterback struggling going against Tom Brady, I'm expected to see a lot of Zeke, a lot of Pollard, and let this offensive line help Zach out. But you cannot put all the pressure on Dak Prescott going against Tom Brady, the GOAT, because if he's not holding on to the ball in the biggest time of the year in the playoffs, man, would this be another first-round exit for the Cowboys? We'll see.
These Dallas Cowboys are a 12-5 football team.
2 years in a row.
12-5 football team. And what's happened is the team has picked up Dak Prescott. You want to throw an interception. You want to have all these problems. We can still get wins through our defense in our running game. They're going up against a team that has to have the quarterback carry the team. That's the difference right here. And it's almost like I'd have it the other way around, because if I'm Mike McCarthy, 35 playoff wins for Tom Brady, yeah, he was on some pretty good teams, okay? Those aren't his wins. I'd show him dirt and balls like he's done in the past. I'd show him making bad decisions. I'd show him off schedule with Mike Evans, because he's got his own problems too. The Dallas Cowboys are the better team in this game, and they just have to show up and do that. Dak Prescott is a big issue.
Yes,
how are they going to control that? How can Dak control it? Because he's got this thing about risk reward that he constantly talks about. I'm trying to make plays. Stop trying to make plays, okay? Let Zeke and Pollard make those plays, and the Cowboys should be able to handle the Buccaneers.
Brew, you talk about, hey, you know, Dallas is clearly the better team. They're clearly the more talented team. We're going to find out Monday night who the better team is.
Yeah, I hear your point on him playing with a thumb injury. I just have a hard time with the numbers that he is leading the NFL in interceptions, and he missed 5 games. That's a lot of games to miss to still lead the league in interceptions.
I would just quickly share that interceptions, like blame can go around. You go watch Dak Prescott's interceptions for the last month. How many of them jumped off of a receiver's chest or off of a receiver's hand?
Breaking news: a quarterback thinks interceptions can be blamed on others. We have
really me and Kellen Moore. Reel your quarterback in. Reel him in.
Before. They only put up 3 points last time. We'll see if they, no, I didn't.
Get him, Sam.
I've heard it before. Okay. All right, Adam, tell us what else is coming up on the show.
Well, Sam, I never saw Matthew Hasselbeck throw an interception on his own, for the record. Anyway, Aaron Rodgers and the Packers missed the postseason for the first time since the 2018 season. Coming up next, what the future might look like for Aaron Rodgers